Good day from the shining spires of Great Britain, where everything is made of a special trifle, and the chutney sings like choir boys. I am Professor Morningthorpe Montague III, and this is my stalking horse, Nielsen. Today we'll be taking your questions about how to make the very bestest fruit beverage for summertime, covering the serious topic of when tickling becomes a crime, and, in a very special segment, Dark Souls!
Hello everyone, welcome again to Twin Humanities. My name is Paddy. I am your friend Paddy. Friend, what's your name?
I am CJ. I sometimes frequent this parish.
Oh, and yes, we are on episode. Oh Christ, the numbering's gone to hell now, hasn't it?
Series 2, Episode 2. It's not difficult.
Yeah, episode 13 if you count them all.
Oh, don't be a Trump lord.
It's so confusing. 2-2, we're on. Episode 2, season 2, episode 2. 2-2.
Yes.
2-2. Now. 2-2.
That sounded like the gun sound from Turrican.
2-2. Now, last time, we were living in Glitch Town, weren't we?
We were.
I've been playing offline for a long time because Glitch Town, no. But
and I've been playing Monster Hunter.
You have. But the good news is this morning I turned on my copy of Dark Souls and I loaded it up and the glitch has been patched.
And this afternoon I turned on Paddy's copy of Dark Souls and they said, you have a much more tender touch and a far fruitier smell.
My copy of Dark Souls now has a restraining order.
Yes.
So the glitch is fixed. You can now run around online without things flickering away like idiots, and area effect attacks show up now, and when you get invaded, it tells you got invaded.
But Patrick, let's cast our minds back to when glitches were there.
Hang on. Diddly-doo. Go.
When two gentlemen, tried to co-op in a parish that was very dark. They tried to see things in a place which was naturally very dark, and now was more dark.
Why, the process of glitching was made darker than the dark.
We were in Tomb of the Giants and attempting. You'd already beaten Nito at this point, haven't you?
I had. Yeah, I'd trolleyed in with my sword.
In this playthrough, I hadn't been to Tomb of the Giants yet. So, given that when you walked over soul signs, even though the signs weren't showing up, the ghosts were. We thought we'd have a bit of a bash at doing so, and we got there relatively quickly, didn't we?
It only took about 40 minutes to meet up.
Yeah, and the real shame of it was not the glitches, but my shiteness.
That was a bit of a downer. I'll give you that. It was a bit of a downer. I mean, just even trying to find the soul signs when they're not there. It became a game of, because we had Skype on at the time, did we not? It became a game of, right, now go up the ladder, now look at the left wall, follow it hallways.
Is it the one that looks like multiple giants' ball bags? No, it's the one that looks a little bit like the skull of a small goat.
Yeah.
Standing next to a tennis ball and maybe an orange.
Surrounded by a ring of knees.
Surrounded by a something ring of knees.
I mean, just to be honest, just getting to the start of the Tomb of Giants is a problem in itself, because after you've beaten Pinwheel, there isn't really another bonfire for quite a bit, is there?
And this was the point where I was trying to get through the catacombs, and my overconfidence was my undoing. I took out a number of the sort of smaller pinwheels just before you get to the boss, or you normally get to the boss. And I thought, yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah, I'll just jump down, just take out the other few, and I'm dead. And that happened.
The roly cartwheel men.
That happened. Happened a good few embarrassing times, but we got there.
We got there eventually. We met up.
Yeah.
Met the largest fog wall I've ever seen.
It was massive, wasn't it?
Outside of maybe Demon Souls 2.
It was the Great Wall from Game of Thrones. It was pretty much that big, wasn't it?
Separating us from the wild
It was.
north.
Look at the size of the fog door. We'll take the elevator, Jon Snow.
We'll take the magical cutout cardboard elevator that goes up in the opening trailer.
Jon Snow, how do you do that thing with your tongue?
He knows one thing.
I'm in a silly mood today, fueled further by biscuits.
So yeah, after Big Wall, I think we very soon discovered one of the delightful quirks about the Tomb of the Giants, particularly when it comes to sunlight lanterns. In that, you didn't think you had a lantern, so I had a spare. So I thought I'll drop your lantern, so we can, both. One can hold the lantern up.
I think I actually had two at that. No, I did have one. But
Yeah. But anyway, we lanterned up. It was like, all right, so one of us can hold the lantern to see the bad guys, and the other one can fight the bad guys. Because that sounded like a good plan, did it not?
It did indeed.
It was a good plan.
And it seemed logical, but
Yeah.
No, there was no logic involved.
Because what game are we playing?
Playing Dark Souls. It's as if somebody at FromSoft had gone, well, that Tomb of the Giants is really difficult. But yeah, if somebody brings in another player, then one can hold the lantern and one can fight. It's almost as if a certain group of people at From Software then went, looks like we're staying late, lads.
So just to be very clear, what actually happens when you have a pair of lanterns is that you'll look over to your bro will hold out their lantern, but on your screen, the light will be no different. Only you can see the light from your own lantern.
Thus, Ballbag and Rust Balls we're not in the same sort of unison that we thought we'd be.
No, so what was going to be a game of shine the light, kill the guy, turned into a game of both having the lights out going, ah! Ah!
Yeah. And then a certain point where I was so foolish and kind of forgot that I was holding a lantern, and when something was battering me to death, held out the lantern like a shield. Just thinking, Christ, this thing's getting right through my shield.
It does act as an ever so slight shield.
As if I was holding up some sort of light bulb, and as if to confuse the thing, and it would go, oh, that man's holding an idea. I don't know quite what that'd be. Maybe we should leave him alone. Maybe it's a fearsome idea.
He's doing a British Gas advert.
Yeah, when I started this, I had flesh, but now I am bones. I will hit him hard.
So yeah, Tomb of the Giants went. Yeah, I thought it went kinda with the two of us together.
Well, we kind of did we go through it at a certain point around just getting things confused with me watching the Pantsman playthrough on Video Game last week?
We went through. I generally followed you in the way down and sliding down those big slidey coffins when you panic and think, "Oh Jesus, I can't go back now."
There was a few moments though where I think I'd been attacked by a giant skeleton and was mercilessly overconfident because I got the Great Shield of Artorias. It was like, whatever. And I think I fell down a ledge at a certain point, and then one fell on top of me and then hit me off another ledge.
Yeah.
As if I was some sort of puck of stupid fuck. And it was cracking me against the icy darkness of, that's quite poetic, isn't it?
It is.
Of Tomb of the Giants.
It was fun being on Skype when that happened.
We did have a merciless laugh.
Yeah, it was bum bags of the highest order.
Because even though we were kind of quite sincere about getting through it, I think we were both having such a giraffe at that point anyway that it was just an experience rather than a kind of Call of Duty like go left, go right.
Oh, you're dead! You failed! You suck at life! I block you forever!
We just had a massive giggle. And it once again proves the point that there's so many variations that you can get on your experience there. You were loving those bloody vocal chimes as well. I knew you'd love the vocal chimes.
I was throwing that down every single chance I got. Very good!
Yeah, especially when I got kicked down by Patches.
Yep.
And there was that extra drop with this sort of like dead air, like very good. Get down here and say that, you beast.
It was great. One thing that I learned from our time around there is I learned where the coffin-looking thing with the 5 or 6 skeletons is.
I didn't realise that was a coffin that we fought Pinwheel in, but you're
right. Yeah, it's when you look down at it and it's just like a big kind of... It was the lid more than anything. It's like it had been twisted to one side, like a big sarcophagi.
That freaks me out a wee bit.
Yeah, the second one was where I met my first untimely end, sadly. Jumping in, chucking in a couple of fireballs, and they just do not mess about in there.
I put this to you: if Pinwheel
Yep.
was doing experiments for Seath, is Tomb of the Giants where he cast the bones?
Possibly.
I hadn't thought of that until now, but it's
Well,
again.
here's my
kind of ties
thinking.
in.
The giant skeletons look the same sort of size as the giants in Anor Londo.
Oh my god!
Maybe he kind of Steve just kind of just chucked some down to see what was going on down here.
Well, Seath, we've mentioned before, Seath's main guides are the channelers,
Yeah,
and
six-eyed helm.
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Anor Londo sort of isn't particularly far from the Duke's archives anyway.
Yep.
There's less stuff in there than there once was. Plus, one of the motifs within the game is that the gods are frail, the gods are scared, and you've got the painted world in Anor Londo as well, and that's clearly the place where everything was kept to murder the gods, like the occult club. Velka's crow people are in there as well.
Yep.
The crow is a Japanese sort of motif for revenge as well.
It is.
So, oh my god, as if I needed any other reason to go even further into this stuff. Christ, that's.
So yeah, I mean, maybe it was just regular skeletons, and he's gone.
No, don't ruin this, because I reckon all of this is planned. It's terrifying storytelling. How do you do this?
See, now I'm going to be trying to find the analog for the Nope skeletons, the crouched over, darkness, scuttling Nope skeletons.
God, oh my god! But if you go further on into Tomb of the Giants as well, what rises up from the water but babies?
That's true.
Skeletal babies.
Tiny skeleton babies.
And if you kill them, they've got humanity. So that would tie Pinwheel definitely into Seath.
Mm. Oh, it unravels, unraveling live. Oh, them facts.
Also, if you go just before you get to Nito, anyway, you've got more Pinwheels.
Yeah,
more off the boss type Pinwheels.
Yeah, that's true. They are punks, though, aren't they? They go down to four wooden arrows will take them out. It's pretty.
Yeah, I normally take them out from distance. So when I was watching the video game of Pantsman playthrough last week,
yeah,
they went to Nito in just a pair of pants, which was pretty impressive in itself.
Yeah, brave.
But Matt Lees was taking those guys out with like close range, and I was like, there's you get used to a certain way of playing.
Yeah.
And what
are you doing?
I kind of have kittens a little bit. I remember there was one review of Dark Souls that I saw on YouTube, and I was kind of like, my muscle memory was just going like, keep your shield up. Oh my god, what are you doing?
You have a shield. It's probably the same feeling I had when I saw you running off to the archers in Orlando. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, when I was Brave Bro.
Brave Bro. Yeah, come back, Brave Bro.
I was just showing off. Yeah, as if you were like, I've never loved a man before, but the way you ran.
Don't leave me.
The way that you ran at that archer was really fun.
Well, I remember chasing you up there because I was scared.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be left alone, so I kind of pelted it back afterwards. You get attached to things in this.
Just knock him over and I will walk over your corpse as if you were a gentleman laying a coat down on a puddle for a lady. I will be that lady. That's the reason we didn't get through Tomb of the Giants, because we weren't dressed as ladies.
There was no skirts involved. If we'd have been wearing skirts and brassieres.
So angry.
We should have been wearing the brassieres.
We will do that for the next run through Tomb of the Giants. We'll be dressed as ladies.
Absolutely lady time. Well, yeah. I mean, I've recently. Well, I mean, we didn't get any further than that because once you died, I think we then spent an hour and a half trying to meet back up. But I think was it the catacombs was taking you to bits.
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you trying to. And I remember going up the ladder. There's a bonfire that you can walk to in Tomb of the Giants. It's about halfway through near where Patches is, and I remember going up and down that ladder. Must have been 100 times.
I think I'd kind of gotten in from a late shift as well, and sort of
Yeah.
in part my eyes were crossing a little
And
bit.
every sort of 15 minutes, I'd just hearing, "Oh bollocks."
Yeah, I did stuff up sort of.
Yeah, it was
So,
fun though. We had a nice
yeah.
chat while you were doing it, so
Yes.
it's always a win. Kudos, by the way, on Patches hating you to pieces.
Yeah. Well, the lad has to get his kick in there, but at least he's available from there as a ordinarily
Yeah,
as
well, I mean,
a
he attacked
merchant in
you.
Firelink.
Did he not attack you?
I think he did.
He
Yeah.
was he
So,
was the thing that killed you, wasn't he? Because he just raged out on you, and I was like, I can't help, so I'm going to stand nearby and point.
but all I really wanted him for was for the mask of the child.
Yeah.
Not for its stamina abilities, but just so I could look a little bit more like Jasper from Twilight, which is always preferable to the Mask of the Father, where you actually look like the King from Burger King,
That's true. I've seen
being
someone on
being
the
being
PC.
being caught mid wank.
I've seen someone on the PC mod that so that it is actually coloured like the king, and I think they've taken the Onion Knight armor and coloured it in the same kind of colours as the Burger King man, and it's freaky.
I saw somebody that on the PC version that had dressed their bloke up like Sonic, and and not looking entirely like Sonic. He just looked like a bloke in blue trousers and a blue vest, with kind of blue hair.
A blue spiky head,
Yeah, and it just looked rather wonderful.
much like most normal Sonic cosplayers, as it were.
Yes.
Horrifying. So I want to hear. I want to hear about you alluded when I was jumping in to join you on Tomb of the Giants because I saw you online playing some Dark Souls, and I was like, "Do you want to play some?" And you were like, "I'm doing an Iron Man run." Now I want to hear how that went.
Right. So I created a character, and last week I said that I wasn't going to play offline. I was going
Okay,
to play online.
right?
And so I created my character, and I thought I'd normally create blokes on this, so I'm going to create a female character. And because I'm doing an Iron Man run, I'm going to call her Imi.
Ooh,
And she was a very Japanese looking lady with red hair and pigtails and very fetching. And I was thinking like, right, let's go for this. So
oh,
I
before you
went,
go, what class? What did your class? What was your gift? What was your class? What was your gift?
I have, oh, yeah, I did a pants run, I think, because I wanted the higher stat level.
Oh, so you
Uh,
started as deprived.
yeah.
Oh, brave.
So I battered through the asylum,
Hmm.
no problem there. Went through to Lordran, and at the point that I was getting to the second bonfire, Mid Undead Berg, I got invaded.
In
And
the Middle Berg fire where the
yeah,
guys chucked the fire.
yeah.
Oh,
And of course, with the glitch, it didn't tell you you've been invaded. It just
oh,
got the and this person invaded and appeared just before that kind of that wooden slight wooden footbridge before
yeah.
that second bonfire. So I couldn't actually get there or get anywhere near there anyway.
Oh,
Um, I kind of stood there and they didn't know where it was. And so I stood near to where those skeletons were. Sorry, the guards with the big shields.
yes,
A little bit
the
further
two
down.
that sit near the merchant.
Yeah, just down the stairs. Yeah.
Yep.
So I stood there, and then kind of I sort of advanced a little bit, and then advanced a little bit, and they sort of turned round and just stood there, and I kind of bowed, and then they bowed, and then I moved forward a little bit, and then bowed again, and then they bowed. And then we did a succession of doing exactly the same moves one after another. I kind of pointed at them. I did our move of pointing at them and the
Hmm.
jump for joy and that kind of stuff. And then they kind of went round the corner a little bit to where there's no, normally an item.
Yeah.
It's like a door that you only open once.
Oh yeah. Is it underneath where the archer is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
underneath the archer. Um, and they just went in there and went behind the door and stayed there.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I.
So at this point I was like, balls to this, I'm gonna see if I can get to the boss. So I kind of piled through that next bit, like really paranoid as to whether that person would start chasing me. Cleared out the folks in the first enclosure after the little gangway running.
Mhm. The
Um,
three men in a room.
yeah.
Yep.
A
I assume
butcher,
it
a
was.
baker, and a man that looked like a spoon.
I assume it was the Happy Smash.
Yeah, I was carrying the bunny stick. That was one of
Hmm.
the advantages of choosing deprived.
Yeah.
Um, and so I got rid of those guys, and I turned around and looked, and they still hadn't moved from behind that door. So I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if they were thinking that they were just being bizarre, or they were doing something else at the time, or
Hmm.
just thinking that they wait for me to get a bit further into the level and get more souls, and
Then
then
right behind you
hammer
and
me
go
from
lol.
there.
Yeah.
So I looked around and nothing was happening. And then sort of moved on a little bit and went up the stairs and took out the three guys there and the sniper with a crossbow bolt.
Yep.
Um, Looked around and obviously I couldn't see now back to where they were, and I got
Okay. Yeah.
I got really paranoid and I was thinking, fuck it, I'm just gonna pile through and get up to the boss. And that's where I made my massive mistake, because those skeletons at the sort of skeleton guard things at the bottom,
Hmm.
pretty easy to take out if you take them out one by one. But if you try and run past them, three swords
Ooh. These
and
ones at the very bottom, just past the archer, where they're sort of waiting at the bottom of a tiny stair set.
yeah, I mean they're
Oh.
normally a piece of piss if even if you take them out sort of one at a time. They're
Yeah.
no problem at all. But you try and run past them, and it's one sword, one sword, one sword, like one after the other, and the third one killed me. So
Oh.
it was my own panic and arrogance in equal measure. But I quite like the character, so I think I might actually try a run like that, or even try. I think there was one of the guys on Bonfireside Chat that was doing a two-handed
Oh, you mentioned.
playthrough,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was thinking of having a go at that with a bunny stick,
Hmm.
because I remembered it not long after I'd started and thought, yeah, we'll give that a go, because they were doing it with the Zweihander, I think, from the start.
Oh, the one at the back of the skeleton area.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and so even with the bunny stick, which is a weapon I really, really enjoy, I still felt kind of, oh my God, what am I doing? Because whereas you'd normally go in, lead with the shield, take a hit, twat somebody,
Hmm.
you're kind of trying to go a bit further and then go as much back and draw them into making a move to then react. So it's
Sort of hop in, hop out, sort of kite their moves out a bit.
yeah, just wait for that attack animation to kick in.
Be
And
ready
then
on that roll button every time.
yeah, so it's not even walking. It's almost as if kind of like you're like la 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 la,
You can't touch
and then
me.
la 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 la. It's like I'm coming towards you and you're swinging, and I'm walking as much back, but now I'm going back again so I can swing towards you. So yeah, I quite fancy monkeying about with things like that again. But I've got to say, and you probably noticed this when you did your Iron Man run through. It's a really great game to start again.
Isn't it? Isn't it good?
It's just there's something about it, and I mentioned this to you when we spoke, sort of during the game, but from certain videos that I've seen before, and I looked at this when I played, and it's right that when you walk into the Undead Asylum,
Hmm.
when you go through, I think it's the first door.
Yeah.
If you pan the camera right the way up, the asylum demon is on the roof. When you start the game, Oswald of Astora drops you
A friendly key.
the key through the roof,
Hmm.
and when you then meet Oscar in the Undead Asylum a little bit later, he's been smashed through the roof. So, is it the case that Oscar dropped you that key? The asylum demon basically tried to fight him on the roof. Oscar got absolutely battered by the thing
Yeah.
and knocked through a roof and killed.
Ooh.
And that in itself,
Ooh. Yeah.
I saw that on one of the brilliant Vati video
Hmm.
pieces. He's done 10 more things you didn't know about Dark Souls, which were great. But it's just crazy the stuff that's hidden in the game.
See, now here's my question.
Mm.
How did Oscar of Astora get on the roof?
Because he's awesome.
I don't know how to get to the roof. Is it one of the broken staircases, maybe?
Everyone from Astoria is awesome. Oscar, Solaire,
Yeah.
the
Solaire,
sword, the
do you know
straight
what's
sword.
Do you know what's the best thing about starting the game again is if you get past our friend Mr. Taurus and you go talk to Solaire for the first time again.
Mm-hmm.
And you get the jolly cooperation and the grossly incandescent, and you can hear him say them again.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a part of you that's got a tightened tummy waiting for him to say it.
You're like, oh, he's gonna say the line. He said it. He did the voice.
I did.
And I like the little. I like that they make the voice sound like it's in his helmet. Like, hello there, friend.
Well, I know on Animate, I heard some stuff with the recording of Full Metal Alchemist that the young lad that was inside the suit of armor in there, I can't remember his name.
Alphonse.
Yeah, the voice actor actually spoke into a metal bowl.
Ah.
And that's how they got that sort of slight resonance.
It's like tinny.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like...
But I do love these characters, and I love Solaire to pieces. And I also did the thing as well in one of the playthroughs where I was trying to do things a little bit differently because I believed that there was an extra cut scene that I hadn't viewed previously because I hadn't played the game in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And if you kill Artorias first and then go back to the Sith battle, there's something else. And
I must say I lamed out. I watched that on YouTube. Oh,
have you
oh, the feels.
Have you been to Manus yet?
Not yet. No, because
that was the tweet that Sean deleted.
I saw that he was talking about. No, because the glitch only fixed itself this morning. I've kept well away.
That's prime invasion spot as well. The run up to Manus. So
right.
I look forward to us doing that together because I've got the Great Shield of Artorias on one of the characters anyway.
Yeah.
Plus, I've promised for a long time that I've got a big Artorias spiel to state, but the run up to Manus is amazing, and there's a lot of lore tied into both before and after the Manus battle, and some of it I've not really seen mentioned anywhere else. So I'm looking forward to kind of going through that
and having ourselves a little Twin Humanities exclusive bag.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it has been mentioned somewhere, but it was just something that, you know, when little bits start coming together in your head and you just notice stuff. And on a previous podcast, I alluded to some of this and was choking up. So it's just huge, and I can't wait to discuss it with you. But we'll have an amazing run now onto Manus and see if we can defeat the big-fisted bastard.
The big-fisted bastard. Well,
I hate him.
Well, let's move on from things we've not done. Let's talk about things that we have done. Okay. Because this morning, because obviously my save, the glitch fixed itself, I thought, okay, I can go back online with it again. What should I do? And I was thought, well, we're going to do Lucille together, so I thought I'll wait for that. Where have I not been? And I remembered that I've not continued on from Blighttown. I've never visited the Demon Ruins. I've gone in the front door.
Oh yeah, you were saying that you'd you just sort of took a peek inside.
I had a peek and I've not been back again since, just because I've never I forgot about it, to be honest. I kind of went down there, did the thing, rang the bell, and basically came back, and I've been ignoring it ever since. But this morning I decided, right, let's go have a little nosy and see what the big deal is about the Demon Ruins. Let's go have a look. So onwards I went. Fought my way back down through Blighttown. It was quite fun remembering all the tricks about how to get through that kind of shortcut in Blighttown. Running past the three guys in the bit from the Valley of the Drakes, the back entrance, as it were. Running past them, sitting on the ladder and watching all three of them walk off the edge. It is hilarious every time because they just run to their own doom. It's brilliant. Popping down, remembering about those stupid flies, which I've forgotten about. Putting on my poison clothes to run across the swamp.
Poison clothes. You know, I didn't have any of those as a kid.
Poison
Yeah.
clothes.
You're
Well,
going to Sunday school. Put on your poison clothes.
it's
Okay.
it's
Bye.
it's not that. No, my poison clothes. It's like a t-shirt with like Bret Michaels on it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Very
like a
clever.
like a headband and a big hair piece, and it really gives you good poison defense. It's good poison clothes. So yeah,
You know what you've got to watch out for most of all when you need poison defense?
what's that?
'Cause every rose has its thorn. It's
Oh,
like every night has its dawn. How, I,
every cowboy sings a
sad
sad song.
Yeah, this one
What a
goes
terrible
out
song
to.
that is, isn't it?
They're just a terrible band. Although, ironically, a bass player from one of my former bands, who I do still love to pieces, is in a Poison tribute band now.
Oh, nice.
But he does love Poison. So
It's one of those bands that I never got.
never
Anyway,
mind.
enough about Bret Michaels. Trolley through, got past the three boulder chucking giants without too much worry. Trottled in. Walked past the guy. I remembered the guys with the egg sacs. I thought, I'm not going to attack them because things jump out of them. And the last time I did that, they killed me. So I thought, I'm going to be clever, not do that. So I was clever and I moved on through and I potted through. I found the bonfire, sat down at it, and thought, right, this looks a bit lava-y. Right, I'll just have a little explore. I'll see what's what. Toddled on down, went down the big long kind of. There's a big long rocky passage that leads right down to the lava.
No, that's Europe. It's not Rocky.
Aha! Actually, their recent stuff has been quite good.
Oh, get off!
Oh, they're good. Their recent albums are all right.
Oh, get off!
I've seen them live as well.
Oh, honestly, if I have an entrance to hell, that will be the theme tune. And
You've
then
not heard Secret Society? It's a great album.
I can't bear him. That song just drives me up the wall.
Oh no,
It'll be that, and then it'll be a succession of fucking panpipe songs.
nah. Oh no. But I met some more egg cluster men who I had to fight this time. But luckily, I'm a bit tougher now, so it wasn't really that much of a big deal. They can still be dangerous though when the 5 maggots jump out of the back. And they just go at you. If you're not ready, they will go bang, 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 and like they will wreck your shield.
Yeah, they will. And if you get infected by them, I think it steals half your health and
Yeah, I mean,
massive egg on your head.
Every time I fought them, because I went through a couple of times, those two egg carrier men, I always had to use an Estus fighting those. I couldn't do it without getting hurt or like significantly hurt. But yeah, trolleyed on down a little bit further, and I kind of looked into the lava. So I had a look around as I got down. I thought, I wonder what's around here. And I could see tentacles flapping around in the background. I thought, well, that's clearly a boss, but I can't reach it yet. And I looked across to the left when I got down the stairs. And I looked across and I could see, like, shapes standing in the lava. I thought, what are they? And I looked. And I got my bow out and I kind of zoomed in and I looked. And I got the binoculars and I had a look. Yeah, and I was like, are they Taurus demons? Lies. It can't
plural.
be. Yeah, like, I'm sure I fought one of those as a boss. Like, and I counted 4 from where I was stood. And I thought, well, this is great. What do I do? Are they going to jump on me later if I don't get rid of them now? So I thought I'll engage them now. And hopefully they won't jump on me a bit later. You know, there's obviously a boss fight very shortly onwards. I'll do them now. So I chucked an arrow out with me Faris bow. I tell you, is beautiful because the range it's got is unparalleled. So you can hit anything from any distance, really, with a bit of adjustment.
Yeah, you're up all night to get lucky.
Up all night to get lucky. Taurus Demon number 1 starts running towards me. I'm like, oh, great, okay. Switch back out to my regular weapons, you know, sort of back up a bit, let him onto the platform. So I thought, I'm not fighting him in the lava. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. Taurus jumps up onto the platform, like, brilliant, okay, let's have you. Sort of dodged his first couple of attacks. Realised how long it's been since I actually fought a Taurus Demon properly. And
yeah, even though you think you're a little bit further along, it's not always that easy, is it?
He battered me into the lava. In a single hit, he knocked me into the lava, and there I died. And I was like, well, bum bags. And as I died, I kind of spun the camera around a bit as I was dying. And I looked up, and I saw there's a whole passage at the top that you can go down. because I was thinking, have I got to get these out of the way before I can move on? Like,
Uh-huh.
have I got? And I saw this passage that you just kind of go down the slope to the right instead of going straight on, and I felt like an idiot. I was like, I could have just gone over there. Ridiculous. So the next fight, I went down. I picked my souls back up. Interestingly enough, the Taurus demons had vanished when I respawned.
Really?
All four of them. Well, the four that I could see, they'd all vanished, and I sort of had a few little looks around, and I used my binoculars, and they'd all gone. Like, well, that's worrying. Have they gone somewhere else? So I headed up the passage, went along. There's a very sort of long, thin bridge which takes you across, and heading up towards the thing made of tentacles that was flapping around in the distance. And this was...
Oh, you met Ceaseless Discharge.
I met CCD. Now, I learned some things in this fight. I learned some truths. Now, it was nice that he doesn't actually attack you for a bit. You can walk past him, and he'll pretty much ignore you. He'll look at you, but he won't do anything. And you go past him, oh, look, there's an item in there in the corner, so you run up and you pick the item up, and then you hear... It's like, oh, no.
And who'd have thought that someone would get aggressive when you try and pick the bones of their dead sister's corpse?
I know. Who'd have thought it, right?
Honestly,
What?
people.
Honestly, what a dick. So I turn around, and there's this giant headed thing. Now, I thought it looked a bit like a Taurus demon that had been mutated, because it's got the kind of... like, on its... I say face. The bit that was arbitrarily what looked like a face. Because it's not really got much of a real body. It's got legs and kind of arms that are kind of huddled up, but it's really just a kind of a big kind of mess at the top. So I looked at its face, and it looked like it had horns. And I'm thinking, is that a Taurus demon that's been... And it turns out I'm wrong about that, but it looked like it might have been a Taurus guy. Anyway, of course, what weapon do I tend to prefer?
Oh God, did you try and attack something made of fire with something made of fire?
I did, and I also tried to attack it because I realised that wasn't working. I switched out to my pyromancy glove, which was an even more stupid idea.
Patrick.
Yeah, I was like, I was being attacked. I had no idea what I was like. What do I do? What do I do? I've got this fire sword, which is doing like 15 damage per hit, which was pitiful. My shield wasn't very good against fire, which was pitiful. The pyromancy did nothing, literally nothing, and I died very quickly. And what I learned is when you go into a fiery area, don't bring your fire weapon.
You know something? I thought you were going to go for the greatest pun then. I was thinking you've been building up to this, Patrick, and this is going to be the cherry on the greatest cake. I thought you were going to say, you know what I learned? You can't fight fire with fire.
Oh!
Literally, now, if you look in the dictionary of life, epic fail has your picture.
Oh, wow, what a dive.
Oh, you were so close as well. I thought you were going for that.
Oh, I'm not sure I can go on.
yeah, just sitting there exasperated, and Laura's like, yeah, I'm going to put the kettle on, Paddy. I'm just like, no.
I'm going to go have a little cry. But yeah, so I died, and I came back. What I thought, right, okay, let's not try that. Let's try something a bit different. So instead, I switched my Quelaag sword out for the Enchanted Falchion.
It's got a similar move set, I think you said last time.
It's got similar moves. I'd also got it up to a plus 15 or plus 10 or the maximum one you can do with a slab. Because I'd found the Enchanted Falchion at some point, and I'd just been leveling up because I had nothing better to spend those chunks on. I thought, well, yes, yeah, got it up to plus 15. I thought, go on then, let's have a go with this. And it did all right, I think. I reckon I could have been doing more damage to him. It didn't feel like I was doing, like, significant chunks of damage as I usually tend to do with like pyromancy, that sort of thing. It feels like the physical attacks weren't that great, but it was working. And I don't know. The problems I had with CCD.
Ceaseless D.
It's
oh yeah, we're on those kind of terms now.
Yeah, me and CC, I don't know. His single attack where he flaps a single tentacle down is eminently dodgeable. In fact, most of the time it doesn't even hit where you're standing, which is fine. And you can run out and you can batter away until he moves his arm away. The double attack he does, where he shoots fire out, I could not dodge that for love nor money.
I usually go for the claw. That's normally the the best bet. Hide behind that corner
Mm.
and then just claw him like a mofo yo.
Oh, I no, I fought him face to face. I stood up and I stared him down.
Mm.
And yeah, it was. I don't know. I was chugging Estus like every 3 attacks because that big fiery double stomp hit me every. And I was trying different rolls. I was trying to block it. I was trying to kind of roll really hard as soon as I saw him charging up, but it would hit every single time. So I'm not sure if I was doing something wrong there. But I got rid of him eventually. A bit disappointed if you don't get a boss soul from him.
Mm.
I was like, oh,
He ain't a boss though, is it? He's just a brother, yo.
he's just a dude, and it's like he felt like a boss, you know. It was hard like a boss,
Don't say it like that.
like a bouse. And then obviously you get the cutscene where the lava stops being lava in some places and hardens over. And at that point, I looked down and saw that the Taurus demons had come back. Brilliant. And that's when you notice there aren't 4, there are 7.
Yeah.
And you look at it and like, I don't know, I looked across at these 7 Taurus demons just sort of standing there, and I just thought, fuck me. Like, it's like the developers, it's like they've got there's a board, and every day they have to pull some sort of horrible trick on you. And it's like, this giant lava-filled cavern with 4 Taurus demons isn't hard enough. Make it up to 7. Yeah, make it up. Add a few more. Just chuck some more in. Why not?
I guarantee that the expression on the face of most players at that point mirrored yours.
It's
absolutely.
It's kind of despair mixed with confusion, mixed with being insulted. It's like, you're kidding.
I'd imagine most people didn't actually move from that spot.
No.
At that point.
It took me a minute. I thought, is there any way around them? No. And here's where I realised that because you go down, I saved up at the bonfire, thought, right, get safe, get happy, Couldn't spend boss souls because there wasn't enough, it's only like 20k, which is chump change at this point. Because, I roll deep now.
Rolling in the deep. No.
Deep! And I went down and I thought, right, I'll get rid of these Taurus demons and I'll be smart. I'll draw them out one by one. I'll use the lucky bow. I'll get lucky.
Hey.
Poison arrows, and I was actually poisoning 1 or 2 of them. I couldn't work out a way to poison them and not have them run at you, because even at maximum range, they either ignore the arrow or they sprint at you. There's no way to attack them and have them ignore you for some reason there.
Yeah.
They see you when they run. But yeah, I taunted them out 1 at a time. I was careful. I would take them to an area where there wasn't any lava, and fight them, on my own terms, and did actually pretty decently against them. I switched back to the cornflake sword at this point, and it was doing really well, like 7 or 8 attacks and they'd be down. It's like, okay, great, I can deal with this now. And I got in quite a bit of practice fighting them as well because there's 7 of them. So I run to the back of that area to find whatever it was that Ceaseless Discharge might have dropped, because I thought there's got to be something down there. All the way down, every fucking collectible is in the middle of lava. It's
yes, it is.
There was nothing that I could have picked up at that point. I was like, I just killed 7 of those for nothing. Oh!
I think I had problems picking up that other thing as well, because I there was something I hadn't got and had to come back later to get. I think.
Yeah, upon looking up, I beat an error. I look at the wiki. I realised I can go back there later with another item, but I didn't.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, but anyway, I was slightly annoyed. I was like, I forgot to say all that work. So I trotted on the other direction because there's only one other way to go. There's an item on the floor, and luckily I'm paying attention because I saw a Capra demon.
Yeah, it's almost as if like, oh, do you think that's done?
It's
I
like,
don't know. There's something a bit missing.
Yeah, it's just like mini boss returns level.
But even with that, they're kind of lulling you into sort of a state where they're going to throw the punchline at you, and the punchline ain't that far away, is it?
It's a double-fisted punchline.
It's almost like that joke we've just told you about 7 Taurus demons. That again. What about?
So yeah, but the good thing about this Capra demon, compared to the first Capra demon, which I beat in 1 attempt somehow, I don't know how, but everyone seems to struggle with it, they give you room to maneuver
Yeah, they do.
And you can just back away, and he's really not that much of a problem when you've
I
got room to move.
I don't think they're as tough as the previous one.
No,
But that may well just be the fact that I had a weaker character when I fought those. But they don't seem as tough.
they don't seem tougher. No, that you can not, and they've not got a pair of angry wolves helping them either, which is good. And you can roll out of the way. You know, you're not fighting him in a broom cupboard.
Mm.
But yeah, Tolly Dollar him, moved on forwards, and yeah, then I got invaded by Kirk. Very
Knight of
short
Thorns.
Knight of Thorns, which very nearly went very, very wrong because he invades. I think as you're going down, there's a passage.
Yeah, it's, as you're going down the sort of visual
I
slide towards
yeah
the multiple Capras.
yeah. I had during he got the first couple of strikes in. I had maybe 5% of my health at like total at that point left. I was like shit, and I just went nuts with my sword and didn't let him attack me, and I only just did it. It was a worrying fight, but I got through it. Turned the corner, and yeah, hey look, 5 Capra demons.
Was your expression like you've already told that joke and it wasn't funny before?
He's that drunk uncle at a party who insists on telling this horrible, slightly racist joke.
Yeah,
He keeps telling it over and over, and it isn't funny, and it's not getting funny.
and then presumes that the reason that it's not funny is he's using the wrong race.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So I thought, okay, right. What tactic shall I use here? There's 5 of them. They're probably going to run at me if I attack. Right, arrows. Let's try arrows. Poison arrow. I'll shoot that poison arrow through his head.
That's the way to do them, though.
Yeah,
just
they
to
don't
pick
run
them off
at
from
you.
distance.
They don't run at you. So I got all 5 poisoned, and I just sat there and watched them. And they just sort of stood there going, I don't feel very well.
You know, on my first playthrough, I discovered I think it's Quilana in the swamp, and saw that she got all that pyromancy, and went through afterwards to the demon ruins, and ended up doing that section and raising about 500,000 souls from that section alone.
Bloody hell.
God, I milked that section like it was a giant teat of souls. And I'm sure when I got to it, I'm sure I raised about 200,000 souls, and then went and didn't have enough for everything that she got, and so I had to go back. But I learned how to do that inside bloody out. But
squeeze the udders of Capra demons.
But the thing was then there was even when you'd done An Orlando, there wasn't as many water bonfires as there were sort of later.
Yeah.
So if I'd have left that area, chances are I wouldn't have been able to go back easily anyway.
No.
So I did what I had to do. But the cool thing was that whilst now I know that if I'm starting out, I can go down and sort of fight Quelaag and then pile back up, and I can upgrade pyromancy. You know some of the rules when you
can kind of move in and out and realise what you need to do first before you can do the next bit, and prioritise, can't you?
The fact that I hunkered down at that point and made such an important memory, because I really grafted to get that. I didn't know, in inverted commas, what I was doing at that point, because nobody did. But it made it all the more special that I did what I needed to do to progress, and I think that's the colour from my original playthrough. And a good sort of marker to lay down in general, that if something feels right and you think you can advance by doing something, getting a certain weapon, go towards that. You might be wrong, but odds on that you're right, and that carried me through my original playthrough. I got the Black Knight sword as a drop really early, and grinded like a nutter in Undeadburg to wield that sword. Once I got there, went through tons of sections, became my beautiful butter knife.
See, I've not had one of those drop at all. I've had a halberd. That's it. That's the only Black Knight weapon I've had drop.
It was the, I mean, it was the,
Was it the one that stands with his back to you?
yeah, it was the
Ooh,
first one.
lucky git.
Yeah, but I think if you take him out with fireballs, maybe
Hmm.
I think you get it as a I think it's a drop based around that.
Oh,
So
that's interesting.
that's all I could think of because
Hmm.
I tried him again on a different playthrough and it didn't come off. So
Well, going back to the Capra demons,
hmm,
um, you'll enjoy this because you know we have a bit of a propensity when we're together to to shrug, to point, to well, what is it at each other,
yeah,
you know. Now this is when I'd poisoned the Capra, the 5 Capras. I'd poisoned all 5. They were dying. I like the first one had gone down, second one had gone. So I thought, okay, I'll just kind of advance in. You know, there's only one left. I'll walk up towards him. His health was trickling down. It was getting in the final bit. I thought I'm going to be really cocky.
hmm,
I'm going to walk up. He's going to see me. He's going to walk up. He started walking slowly towards me. I thought his health isn't going to last. There's no way his health's going to let him go there. So I locked in with the well, what is it? You know, the walk forwards and the come at me, bro. The
yeah.
poison ran out with an invisible slither of health left, and he punted me in the face. And I was like, what's going on? He's supposed to be dead. And then, his poison stopped. So I had to get back up and struggle through, and just a single tap was enough to kill him off. But yeah, I felt stupid.
I think there's a yeah there's 2 rings that you can get from um, the magician at Firelink Shrine
Hmm.
before Big Hat Logan gets there.
Okay.
And there's the Dragon Crest ring and something else. The 2 blue rings, and one of them, if you're taking things out from distance, one of them will keep any magic effects sort of going for a while longer. So if you've got poison,
So it
because
inflicts potency of-
I used it on the Giants in Orlando.
All right. Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
the poison will keep ticking away for longer.
Oh, interesting.
So really useful.
Because those guys drop chunks, don't they? So if you're patient, you can farm them out some chunks.
Them's
Interesting.
chunky monkeys, yo.
Monkeys, I like it. So yeah, I progressed on. Went down the bottom half of that passage where the Capras were, and headed on because I could see a bonfire in the distance. I thought, right, I'm gonna go there. Met my first caterpillar. He was all right, actually. I went up and it kind of burst through the wall. And I kind of just sort of stood just behind it and just battered away, and his attacks wouldn't touch me.
Sorry, I thought you were meaning a different kind of caterpillar then.
No, it's the ones that burst out of the wall. They're sort of fat, and they kind of burst
Yeah,
out.
I know the ones you mean. And
Yeah.
if you get too close, they vom all over you
Yeah.
and destroy your
And the
in
vom,
the same way as the Gaping Vagina Dragon does. It's the same
that sort
same
of vom.
kind of vom.
Yeah, in the same way as Seath's area of Factor Deck did, I just sort of stood right next to it, battered away, and it didn't touch me. I was like, okay, brilliant, awesome. Sat at the bonfire, I lit it, I was going to get ready to level up, and it kicked me out of the menu. I'm like, what? What? Oh. And I got invaded.
Oh,
I was literally milliseconds away from leveling up, and it just kicked me. I was like, what? No.
Pant?
No. So I panted it a bit. I was like, well, so I sort of stood there by this bonfire. I thought, right, someone's going to turn up any point. And I sort of saw them running up the staircase towards me. As they got to the very end of the corridor, because quite a bit of there was a decent range between us. So I did the bow, and then they did the bow, which was nice, because often people don't bow, which is annoying. So you did the bow, did the bow. Actually had quite a close fight. I died in the end, but it didn't feel like I died unfairly. Like, I died, but it was my own fault. They were fighting fair. Using a very similar strategy that I've used, which is, sword, 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 combustion, 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 sword, sword, sword. And they were just slightly outspeeding me on some of the moves. They actually got a backstab on as I healed, and it didn't kill me somehow. I obviously had just enough health to survive it, but I wasn't long for the world, so I conked out there. But I was right by the bonfire. I had lit it, so I was like, yay! I can just respawn immediately where I was. Stayed hollow. Trottled down, used the same trick, the poison arrow trick, to get rid of the rest of the Taurus demons that are in front of me. Because there's a good 3 or 4 still ahead.
Yeah.
Fog gate. I also went down the secret passage off to the left, where more of those centipede men bust their heads through, and
Oh God, well they're in with the massive line, but there's a bonfire near there.
there's a massive line of them, and there's a chest at the end. And I was like, I'm having that chest. Doesn't matter what it costs me, I'm having that chest. So I just panted it through. They just kept bursting out. I was like, oh crap! I think there's about 3 or 4 in the end that burst out the ceiling.
Yeah, did you poison them?
I homeward boned.
Oh,
I got to the chest, picked it up, thought, right, brilliant. Thought, now what? I've got to get back through them. I was running out of poison arrows at this point. Like, I hadn't been back to what's her face in the tunnel for ages, so I was down to about 50 poison arrows. Like, that's not quite enough. And I sort of went out. I thought, can I melee them? And I ran up and I battered him once, and he just turned around and puked on me. I was like, right, no, homeward bone, get safe. Got safe, then carried on back round, went through the fog gate, and met Mr. Bossman, the demon fire sage.
there is that wonderful sort of trick when you get into Dark Souls where there's like, yeah, you look all right. Look, why did you do that? I'm going.
Yeah. You think I can take him? I can take him. I can't take him.
You can't.
I've made
Why did you do something unpredictable?
I've made a terrifying mistake.
Yeah, that centipede looks alright. Why are you being sick on me? What have you done to my sword?
Why are you being such a dick?
My mum will kill me.
But yeah, I went up to the next fog gate for the thing. I noticed there's a passage off to the right, which I'm going to investigate later. There's this big, long, very open, very straight passageway before you hit the demon fire sage. And it looks like some sort of shortcut-based thing, but I thought, no, I'll go there later. I'll take on the fire sage first. I'll go there later. So I've not been down there yet, but that's will go soon. And met it must be the 3rd asylum demon of the game at this point.
I hate the demon fire sage.
I
hate him.
Now, interestingly enough,
I hate him.
He's made of fire, but fire does hurt him.
I can't remember. I think I chollied into him last time with might have been the demon spear.
My great combustion was ripping him a new one, as it were.
I think the thing is with him is that leap. There's the bomb blast, which is obviously a pain in the arse anyway.
Same as the asylum, the second demon, the stray one.
But that leap. It's just like he's going like just like throwing everything at you.
Hey, would you like to meet my bum? Ah!
Yeah, I hate him. I
had no problems. I took him out in one go. It was easy. I just ran behind him and just used my usual strategy with those guys, which is stand back whenever they're doing a charge move. Otherwise, stand behind him and punch him in the butt. And I punched him in the butt. I killed him, and I moved on. I hit the next bonfire, and then I was suffered by a decision of paralysis of which way do I go now. Do I go on past this bonfire or go back and go down that shortcut? So I stopped. And I thought, I've beaten 2 bosses, that's enough. So that's what I did this morning. And I've stopped there.
Yeah, you've got... Let me think what you've got. Yeah, if you go on past there, there's still sort of there's still a fair bit that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
There's a beast of a centipede that you've got coming up, kid.
Oh, goody.
Beast of actually, it's more of a crab.
Oh, that doesn't fill me with pleasure.
Yeah, like a crabtipede.
A crabapede.
Yeah, as if you go to the doctor, I've got crabtipedes. That means you've had sex with somebody who's quite rough, and now your wee burns. Crabtipede.
Crabtipede. Speaking of venereal diseases, I will just have a slight aside here because Laura said something very very funny yesterday. We were going past, we were going to the shops and we saw an ambulance and a police car outside a house. And we saw the policeman stood there with their blue gloves on. And I, just being silly, said, that must mean there's drugs involved because that's why they have the gloves on in case they get drugs on them. And Laura went, no. It's about bodily fluids, you know, like what if the blood has got HMV in it?
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I looked at her and she went, "What? I said, HMV?" She went,
I do
"Ah."
love mispronunciations like that.
It was It's like what you've got an ailing musical retailer in your blood, therefore aren't very well. In fact, that's probably quite accurate.
One that affects my everyday life is when people use the term espresso.
Oh,
No,
oh,
no.
that's not the right. It's like when I was at the camera shop, people would say, "I want some digital camera."
Digital.
Digital.
Oh, what's it? There was a lass I used to work with, and used to rip the piss out of constantly because she was a bit of a she wasn't the sharpest tool in the box. In fact, she was dreaming of being a tool. She was a mere splinter of a girl. I remember her getting a new phone then, and I was sort of saying, "Oh, is it really good?" She was like, "Oh yeah." She was like, "Oh, camera's great." And I was, "Oh, what kind of size is it?" She was like, 8 gigapixels. I was like,
Oh,
"Really? All of those gigapixels? All eight
gigabixels. Wow.
gigapixels?" It was outstanding.
Gigabixels.
So I think that they should really name gigabytes gigapixels now because it's better. And
Gigi.
it sound it,
It
it gives you
sounds like a biscuit.
it sounds like a biscuit that Will Smith would eat. Getting gigapixels, na 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 na.
Getting
I just
gigabixels.
thought I'd say that.
No, 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 no.
Nobody got the joke.
I got that joke.
Thanks.
They're delightful. So, Demon Fire Sage, CCD in the pot, done.
CCD.
CCD in the pot. Running out of places to go. There's not many more areas left that I've not been to.
You're doing fairly well,
We've
kiddo.
got
You've not really done covenants particularly, but there is the aspect that a lot of people don't really like to leave the Sunlight Covenant. It's
no.
because people do love Solaire.
Mm,
If you've
he's my
seen that,
friend.
if you've seen that Pantsman thing that Matt Lees is doing, like every time somebody because he killed Onion Bro like you did.
Yeah.
Every time he gets near Solaire, everybody's like, "Don't kill Solaire." Who's like, "I'm not going to. Please let it go." And everybody's like, "I'm still worried."
He didn't feel bad about it at all, did he?
He's come to regret it because everybody's just like Onion Bro in capitals.
Yeah.
Still, so,
Poor sweet onion, bro.
yeah.
So yeah, my next, I've got three choices now on where to go. I think it's either onwards from Demon Fire Sage, it's down that passageway next to where the boss gate was for him, or we hit Oolasil.
You've not been to Ash Lake yet, though, have you?
I've not been to Ash Lake. I don't know where that is.
Um, in Blighttown,
Ah,
in Blighttown, where the
yeah.
swamp is,
Ah,
towards the left-hand side,
ah.
there's a sort of a ramp going upwards, a tree branch
Yeah.
that's quite thickish that you can walk up, and it seems like a dead end. And when you jump at the dead end, it's a hidden wall, and there's a bonfire, I think. And then you jump at the wall near the bonfire, and there's another illusory wall. Um,
That sounds like a
might not
bit
be a
of a leap
bonfire
of
there,
faith. That doesn't
but
sound like something I'd do normally.
yeah, it takes you into a giant tree, essentially,
Yeah.
going down on branches, and then you go to Ash Lake, which is got the wonderful thing which I didn't notice until it was pointed out on a video that you've got another Hydra, and
Is this the Free Willy one?
this is the one that jumps the sand between you, which is just awesome. If that's another one of those where it's like, it's another Hydra. You've seen the Hydra before. Oh my
It
god!
didn't do that last time.
It so did not. So yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot to do sort of at Ash Lake, to be honest. Um, Uli Seal, we've got to do. I've got to talk about it to someone.
We have to do
Otherwise,
Uli
I'm
Seal.
going to gnaw off my own fist.
Your head is going to swell up to a point, and it's just going to burst.
It's full of tears. It's full of tears.
Tears and coffee.
Toffee.
A salty broth.
No, not quite like that.
That's
elsewhere.
That's a different.
But yeah, we've got to do Ulysses because it's an amazing visual spectacle. From the standpoint of a battle, it's a mighty battle to get through Ulysses. Because if you don't get invaded straight away, and the game does actively look for somebody to invade you, I think you get Magnificent Chester coming to have a fight with you. He's a piece of piss. He's got sort of a bit of a fancy schmancy crossbow and a leg sweep, but
I like him.
Difficult.
He's a cool guy. Do you get his equipment when you kill him?
I think you get his costume if you kill him as a merchant.
Yeah. Oh, as a merchant. Oh.
Yeah. So obviously you don't get your green blossom.
I want his V for Vendetta face.
But you can, if you kill him as a merchant, you can get that anyway. So you've got to decide as to whether you value the green blossom as much as the costume.
Yeah,
shrines.
I will toss that decision back and forwards. So
I already know the answer, Mr. Patrick. I already know your answer is going to be yes.
Yeah, it's all about looking good.
You're a killer.
I'm a killer. So what next time then? Hullabaloo Seal.
Yes, and the Manus battle, which Sean is already knee deep in and complaining about.
Brilliant. We need a title for this episode, and I think I can think of no better title than Fight Fire with Fire.
But that might ruin your deliciously poor punchline.
But
I don't know. I think it might have to relate to the opening gambit.
Ooh.
Let me just think of what the opening gambit was.
The opening gambit.
Good day from the shining spires of Great Britain.
That's a bit long.
Yeah, well, I'm a classy lad. I can write sentences.
I use more than 140 characters per sentence.
How about a very special segment?
A very special segment. That'll do.
Yes.
Special segments.
No. A very special segment.
A very special. Fine.
Yes.
Get your way. Fine. A very special segment. Yes. This was season 2, episode 2 of Twin Humanities. My name was Paddy.
My name's CJ, and all through this, well, from a good part of it, when I've not been being super silly, I am returning to that character from the Iron Man run. So I have been playing Dark Souls.
But you have to delete the save. You have to start again.
I love her too much now. We've been too far. I've shamed her by playing her with the glitches intact. So,
is the Iron Man redemption?
Yeah, as we discussed earlier, it's just a great game to start again with. So I'm quite enjoying this.
Sure you are. And I'm probably going to have another Iron Man run at some point this week as well. This was the Dark Soul Podcast, Twin Humanities. Thank you for listening. As always, leave comments, suggestions, questions. Did you try to fight fire with fire? Let us know. And we'll talk to you again rather soon.
Yes,
Bye.
Let us know what you think of the shining spires of Great Britain. Let us know what your favourite fruit beverage is for summertime or even winter, perhaps with alcohol or not. Let us know if tickling's ever become a crime in your house. And please, enjoy Dark Souls sensibly.
Roll credits.
Now.